Hey, what's up, guys? So, last year has passed. It's now 2024, and all I have to show for it is 2 uploads. One on the Dead Game review of Unreal Tournament 4, or just the Unreal Tournament series in general. And then, of course, the Mega Episode 1, which only 300 people have seen. So, all things considered, like on the YouTube front, not the most productive, successful year. But I think that a lot is in store for us for 2024. And I have some aspirations, some ideas on what I want to do next. And hopefully you can appreciate that. So first of all, I want to just thank very quick the G Outback, Goutback, I don't even know. I always call him the G Outback. He supported me like throughout the year for $30 a month roughly. And the help is incredibly appreciated, really incredibly appreciated, because, you know, it allows me to purchase software that I need, purchase some assets that I need, whatever it may be. Also, on the same token, thank you very much to Jenny for supporting the channel continuously, on Gumroad with your $6 donations. It helps incredibly much. You don't even know. Aside from that, we have things to talk about. So this year has been, or like the last year, has been a little bit tumultuous. There have been some things happening behind the scenes, like I did a complete OS switch. I switched from Windows to Linux, and oh boy, there were problems there, and there will be another smaller video just focused on that for the nerds out there. There have been a lot of workflow improvements or just changes that had to happen for the bigger projects to really be made, especially with the Mega project. And yeah, there are some ideas on what I want to do next for like this year. What is planned? You know, what do we have to do now? I was thinking I want to get into Blender. I want to do more 3D assets, basically being able to do animations and materials that can be used for any kind of visualization for like certain videos. And I think it's because doing everything on a photographic or video basis isn't always the best idea. It depends what the problem is that needs to be solved. And for instance, for a production like Mega, I would love to use more 3D assets for like getting more 3-dimensionality into a scene, having more interesting interactions on screen, more interesting things happening on screen. I think that would be a pretty good idea. As to how that can be pulled off, no idea. I just have to start like using Blender, using like various other things, you know, building new things, trying out new workflows, and then we can see what happens. This year has been also less productive for video because of multiple different things. For one, like personal growth stuff, which I don't really want to get into. But then also, I've been getting into event photography, basically connecting with the local like DJ scene here, like basically doing a lot of freebies, doing a lot of photography, some video work. So that is something that is like outside of YouTube. I in general have been doing more work in these kinds of directions, like more photography, video, also handling things like creating flyers for people and posters, you know, for their parties and whatever. And I've been doing that. A lot of it was unpaid. It's a bit difficult to get into that field because a lot of DJs are broke. Let's be real. But it has been fun. I like new doors are opening, and I am ready to wedge my foot into every single opening that opens. I will be there. I will be there to take the spoils, so to speak. For the channel here, there are a lot of plans. So, for instance, like production-wise, I would like to get Oscuro Project 2 finished. I would also like to work on Xenozoic, another Oscuro production that, you know, technically is in the oven since the first episode released of that series. I would like to get into a new series called System, which is all about appreciating technology, computer science, and the software that runs our favorite software, like productive software and game software. And the first episode for that should be about Space Engine. How does Space Engine work? Procedural generation, simulating a universe, simulating something so big that we can't even comprehend it. That is something that, you know, I would love to take a look at, especially because I already interviewed the developer, inventor, however you want to call it, of Space Engine. You know, this amazing software, which I have used professionally as well. I have a license for it. I use it for some productions. There also should be more smaller scale videos, because I have been doing a lot of big shit, like the big productions, but there needs to be something that like fills in the gaps in between. Because you know how YouTube is, you need to upload something every month, or ideally every week, every day, so that, you know, people care to stick around and to watch the new productions that come out. And I'm trying to get better on that. I have been very much focused on the big productions and things that I alone also have trouble actually producing. Like Mega is a gigantic project which both my partner Elwood and me have a like semi-love-hate relationship with a little bit.
It's always a mini adventure trying to find unknown trails or hidden paths that we haven't explored yet.
What, you go out for a walk?
Where on one hand it's like it's gonna be a production where we look back on it and are gonna be like, man, we're really proud of this one. But then I think we both never want to do a production like that ever again. So especially since the first episode of the bunch didn't really do that well algorithmically. If you really want to help out the channel and you know, you don't want to pitch in or anything like money-wise or something, just give that video a watch. Mega, the Ukrainian Divide, the birth of Ukraine, the first episode. It has been basically sabotaged because there was a Content ID claim on the video. Since we used 2 clips from Vice documentaries about you know, the whole Donetsk bullshit in Ukraine, the video was basically completely demonetized. It was out of the algorithm completely. We got 300 views. And it's a bit upsetting because it's, I think, a very important production. It's one of the most, if not the most holistic, complete look at the Ukraine situation, at the Ukraine war that exists out there, or will exist out there. Episode 1 is like the history of how we got to the point of where we are now. You know, the over 100-year-long history of Ukraine and the struggle for independence, the struggle for becoming a nation, and how external forces have constantly been taking away this individuality, or are to this day trying to take away this individuality. So it's a very important production, I think. And if you care just a little bit, it would be a great help if you just checked it out. And even if it's for half an hour, or just giving the format a try, it would be highly appreciated. Let's put it like that, it would be highly appreciated. But yeah, essentially, the video was struck. The claim is taken away now. It basically, over 30 days, Vice did not review the claim, and that's how the video basically got killed off algorithmically. So growth was basically nil. There have been days in a row where there was 0 views on the video, and now I guess it's picking up, but it's like, you know, 6 to 10 views a day. it's honest. It's a rough look. It's a rough thing that happened to that upload, especially since it has been in the works for a long time. But I appreciate it because there have been a lot of things that I learned, and I'm still learning about DaVinci Resolve, workflow, creating assets, things that I always have been doing, but I haven't been doing efficiently or good enough. So things like tagging, metadata, editing in passes, using multiple timelines, and various different methods, like a completely different approach to rendering out a video. It has been a very painful but very interesting ride, and a lot of time was spent figuring out the process of how can I get a project finished, rendered, and on YouTube, which I don't have the hardware nor the at the time know-how to even approach. So it has been a bumpy ride, but I learned a lot, and I think that this will only improve future videos. A big thing was sound design. A big thing as well was managing data, managing assets, managing that stuff. Where does stuff go? How should stuff be created? And where does the created stuff, like how is it organized in the timeline? It's a bunch of boring shit, but if you care about that, it will soon be, and with soon I mean after a while, it will be part of the bonus content of Mega Ukraine Divide, where I will go over what the challenges were with that production. Video-wise, I also want to do more dead game reviews, more sound design in games, maybe even start another series altogether called Physics in Games, like looking at physics systems and basically do something which I already started doing a while ago, where if you have watched, it's one of my more popular videos on the channel, the Euphoria video, not the one about visual novel, the one about physics engine. I didn't give that engine a real good look. It's one of my older productions, and if you have watched my recent shit, you know that I love interviews. Interviewing developers and using that information to really bring the best out of a production, to really bring something, to bring a production really, bring something new out, something that you might not really have heard before. And it would be great to give that look into more physics engines like Havok, PhysX, Novodex, which is a precursor to PhysX, things like that, or like checking out things like, vintage PhysX cards, which I bought 2 of. One to have it and the other as a backup in case the first one doesn't work. And I already have the stuff to do these videos on. I just need to get them working. Or I just need to get to making that video. So if you want to stick around for that, this year's gonna be a busy one. I want to look at Titanfall, I want to look at, for a dead game review, Titanfall 2 and 1. For sound design in games, I want to look at Warframe, which is a game that, it's not my favorite game ever, but the granularity and the detail in the sounds is something that, honestly, for an MMO series is unparalleled. There is no MMO, or whatever you want to call it, that sounds like Warframe. It's a highly detailed game, a highly engrossing experience, especially if you have really good headphones, which I do. There also needs to be some kind of series or some kind of format which can be produced relatively quickly, but can fill in the gaps between the really long, big productions, the very intensive stuff. And what I've been thinking of is a series that is more about appreciating certain games. So not a review format, but more a subjective look at a game that I have been playing that I really adore for some kind of reason. And for that I thought, for instance, Dying Light would be a great contender because that's a game that I have been playing a lot when I was editing the first episode of Mega. And for 2 weeks, my life was basically staring at a timeline, editing, doing the changes that I need to do. Then I close out of that, and then I go into, Haran. Go and slash a zombie's head off. And it was just that. My life was just that for a while. Open up Dying Light, kill a few zombies, get back to DaVinci, and keep editing a video. And it's a great therapeutic experience. Another contender now is Morrowind, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. I think the Elder Scrolls games, almost all of them, are very bad games. But I have a soft spot for Oblivion specifically, even though it's, again, a dreadful game. Morrowind is not part of that club. I think Morrowind is a genuinely good game, a great game, a great RPG, a great world, a great experience, and honestly, in my opinion, the best gameplay that the series has on offer. Yes, I like the dice roll shit. I'm really thinking of making a quick video on that game, just appreciating it, showing what I love about it. And I think there are a lot of games that I can look at and appreciate, and it's not really being a formal review. And I think if there is a lot of interest in me covering a game in more detail, whether it be the sounds, the physics, or the game in general as a review, I can always make a video like that after. There's also other contenders. Mirror's Edge is a big one. Also games that are like smaller in scope, or are games that I'm not even skilled enough to complete, something like Noita. I think there's a lot to appreciate in games, and it would be a nice format to really bring something positive onto the channel, like something very earnest and simple. Something simple. A video that can be done in a day. A video that can bring something to the surface that, you might, like, maybe you might not appreciate a game in the same way that I do. And maybe that's something that could make it interesting for you to check a game out. So I've been thinking about that. Also something about graphic design. That's something that, like, what I love is layouting, making cool stuff with graphics. And what you can see, for instance, here is this thumbnail for Mega, this thumbnail for Dead Game Review, Unreal Tournament. This is the stuff that I learned. This is the stuff that I find amazing to do. And I was thinking about making a kind of series that can bring more interest, a fun angle to things like layouting and just creating magazine layouts, posters, flyers, whatever. But like, it has a spin, like looking at reference material and then trying to emulate it, replicate it. I thought that might be a pretty cool idea, but I still have to figure out how to get that filmed and how it can be achieved. But yeah, there's a lot to do. There is a lot of experimentation that I want to do. I want to learn Blender. I want to make a lot more videos than just 2 uploads in a year. I have things to do. So I hope you're having a great new year. I hope you had a great celebration, whether you're a Muslim, a Jew, atheist, Christian. I hope your celebration was great. I hope you had a great Christmas, whatever. I just hope you had a great new year. A great celebration. Or if you don't celebrate, I hope you had fun playing your video game that you like. If you want to chip in and support the channel, you can send one-time donations or PayPal. You can subscribe on Patreon. You can send YouTube thanks. You can also subscribe on Gumroad or buy packages on Gumroad, which is honestly the preferred way. Like, you get something in return for your support. And you can, for instance, buy the Oscuro documentary with bonus materials, the Yeonmi North Korea package with bonus material, and just in general, like other stuff that you might find interesting. And I might also upload like packages like, sound packages or stock photo packages, which you may find interesting and you may want to use for your own productions. So check out the Gumroad store below. It might have something for you. As for the state of the channel, the state of things to go, I'm not going anywhere. I really want to make this work. I really want to make this something that I can spend the majority of my time with. So I'm really trying to do my best to get at the very least 1 or 2 videos out every month. Basically, big productions are always gonna be in the work. That is what I love. But I really want to try and work in the smaller things too. Things that don't need a week to produce. Things that still are engrossing to watch, but which just don't take the same amount of time as something gigantic like Mega or a sound design and games production, something like that. So I hope this year is gonna be a content-rich one. Something where you can see many more facets of what I have to offer, like video-wise, maybe new things that you didn't even know could be fun. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Learned a lot this year, and I hope that I learn more this year, next year, stuff like that. So yeah, many thanks again. If you want to support, highly appreciate it. And I hope that the next video is gonna come out relatively soon. For Mega, I do not want to extend the production much more. I really want to get every single episode out this quarter, the first quarter of this year. So this month, episode 2 should come out. Next month, episode 3, and as soon as possible, episode 4. Anything as soon as possible. I want to get these things out, and I hope that you watch them. And if you don't watch them, that's fine. I just hope someone watches them. Also, always share stuff around. That helps a lot. No matter where it is. Telegram, fucking WhatsApp, Discord, whatever. If you just want to support in these ways, support me in these ways. That would be highly appreciated. But yeah, before I start rambling off more, I'm gonna sign out. Bye bye.